Alright, here we go. Welcome everyone. We are back to this version of the Olivan Chronicles. This chapter is called Into the Wild Light. I am your DM Windy J. We have with us Bread, Carney Circus, and Spencer. We're going to be getting through, and Jackson, I'm hoping to join us fairly quickly as well. But we are picking up where we left off last session. This is our third session as well. So where we left off, you guys had gone into a goblin cave, and this goblin cave did not provide you with an awful lot of safety. Elred got knocked out. You guys did manage to clear out the cave and rescue a family as well as another older gentleman that was among them. The older gentleman has now beseeched you to try to find a way into the Feywild as a way of helping him recover his lost patron somehow, way, shape, or form. So you guys make your way back to the town of Uru, and while in Uru, a variety of different split the party shenanigans happens. The first split the party shenanigan that happens belongs to Shimo, as he made his acquaintance with a dwarven lady who works at the Broken Bowl Tavern, and some miscommunications ensued with this lascivious dwarf lady, and we're probably going to figure out how that resolves fairly quickly, I should think. Scraggs also, who happened to manage to find a bunch of short swords, scimitars that came from the goblins that fighting, went to try to hawk them up and could not find a buyer. It was pretty late in the evening already as it was, but they did find one buyer, so now only have 4 left to try to rehome, we'll say. You, on the other hand, stayed with Elred, who remained unconscious at the Azure Shield House, which is basically the sheriff's office, if you will, of the port town of Roru. And Elred only just recently regained consciousness, and seemingly is unaware of anything. Totally suffering from amnesia, not have any recollection of it. Seems to pick up things that has been told to him. He believes himself to be Elred. He believes himself you to be a friend, but that's pretty much it at this point. So, without any further ado, we are going to try to resolve a few things real quick. We'll start with you. And with you, Elred is having a difficult time remembering anything. What are you going to be doing with Elred at this point in time?
Well, just for his own safety, seeing as I'm not the strongest person in the party anyway, I will excuse the two of us from the Azure Shield, and I will just head on over to the rest of the party. Not disclosing anything to Nebin.
The person who's there with you, his name is Nebin. Enough. The person who's there with you is Nebin. That was the thing that seems to be the leader of the Azure Shield here in Roru. He says, do have him check back in. I'm sure one of our priestesses can see if they can figure what happened to his memory. Perhaps tomorrow, after a good night's rest, maybe ever come back. But if not, have him check in anyway, just to let us know how he's turned out.
That shall be noted. And then I just start walking out with the guy. I grab onto his coat and just. And I head towards the Broken Bowl.
Kind of lunges forward, slightly bewildered, taking in his surroundings. Beautiful. As you are heading towards the Broken Bowl, we have Scraggs, who's been out about the town trying to find locations to Scrags. Scrags. How are you going to bring this evening to a close for yourself?
Um, I would want to maintain a um, close eye on my potential investment of you. I mean, a magic box on legs that does things for you, that can do like magical things, and potentially doesn't have a soul, and I can maybe try to figure out how to make more of in the future. That's got to be worth money. So I'm going to keep an eye on you. And of course, in the meantime, I can take
All right,
advantage
I'm
of
gonna
the
get you
big bumbling dragonborn. I mean, he does owe me 50 gold. He promised me, remember?
for sure. Can I get you to roll?
I assume he remembers he owes me the
Oh
gold.
yeah. Okay. Roll me a perception check. See if you happen to notice them on their way back to the
Ah,
tavern.
okay. 21. Ooh.
Yeah, actually, as they're leaving the shield house, you happen to also be in a building somewhat nearby the shield house as well, or right beside the keep, and they're exiting the wall, and you happen to notice them across the park that is right out front of that castle wall,
You can obviously hear the grin forming on my
and
mouth.
you can see you is very clearly leading
You
Dragonborn.
can obviously hear, anyone nearby would hear my smile come across my face. And I'll wander over to the two, and I'll be nice for the moment. I will. Hello. Are you okay? You're looking after
Well,
your friend really nice. Well done.
What is it that you need? We are returning. We are headed towards the Broken Bowl.
It's not what I need. It's what I can do for you. I am here to help. I'm a really nice friend.
Friendship will not help with the current situation. I will be heading Elrid to a place of safety.
Uh, do you want me to help you?
I would like to see if I can interpret his intentions from the sound of his voice.
Roll?
this is a this there is actually a hint of uh, I like Scrags. You're gonna have to decide if this is persuasion or deception, but you go right ahead and roll your insight check. This will be
Okay.
competitive.
Tuning myself for this.
Are you Scrags? Are you being genuine in your interest? Sure.
Ooh, 14.
All right. Are you being genuine or are you trying to be deceptive? Let's see here. Oh yeah, you're totally able to see. There's more to what they are to their desire to help than simply helping. That helping might be an means to an end.
I squint my eyes at this guy, and I just quickly turn my head back to the direction we were going. I'm sure we can manage this without your interference. Just keep walking.
I'll have full outrage. I was really trying to help you. My dead father, God bless him, soul. Uh, on his deathbed,
Further,
he said to me, "Scrags,
walking.
I'm running out. Scrags, just if you see someone who needs help, just help them. That's all I wanted to do to you."
All of this gets softer and softer to me as I continue walking away.
I'll get
So you
you.
guys start making your way. Maybe Scrags is just a little behind, a few steps behind, and you guys start making your way back to the Broken Bowl, where Spencer had Shimos had a very interesting interaction. Um, last we left off, if I recall, after almost nearing an hour of pressing from this dwarf, she hath disrobed. You hath explained to her that this was not the intention. Um, So she is actually quickly getting her clothes back on and um, very huffily trying to leave the room at this point.
Okay, I believe I was also about to try and like slip right out as things were going down. So I'm going to do so and kind of,
Or you
yeah,
were trying to slip out
I'm
there.
gonna
Okay, fair
slink
enough.
out the door and be like, oh, yes, I'll be right back in quickly, and then dart out of the room.
All right, and so you dart out of the room. There's just a couple of bedrooms up on this
I'm
top
going to
level.
head
Where are you
towards
going?
the keep to redeem the promissory note.
Okay. Well, as you're heading out, then of the Broken Bowl, you. It doesn't take long before you actually run into you, Elred, and very shortly behind them, Scragged.
Hello, my friends.
Wonderful. I was just coming to look for you. The Azure Shield is saying that the payment is ready. Should you have the promissory note in hand?
Indeed, I do. If you would like to wait at the Broken Bull or come with me, either way, I will return to the Broken Bull with our reward in hand.
While you are all gathered, I also have some other news that I received from the Azure Shield. Should you seek even more payment, they have the option for us to check for pickpocketers at an incoming carnival from Claymouth.
Anything to protect the lower class that might be targeted by such deviants.
I'm a little bit nervous now. I don't know nothing about pickpockets. Never pickpocket nothing in my life.
You look to...
Anyway, change the subject.
Elred looks to you. So, who are you two anyway?
Oh, yes. You don't remember me? You just saved me.
It appears I've forgotten to bring it up. Our comrade here seems to have
Just kind of looks
forgotten
back to you.
most things.
Saved him?
That is quite troubling. I am glad you live, though.
When you say most things, what do you mean most
Thank you.
things?
I'm Elred.
Nice to re-meet you, Elred. I am Shimo.
That is one of the things he has forgotten. I had to inform him of his name.
Shimo.
Elred, you remember Scraggs, your best friend, don't you?
He would not remember that. That information is false.
Who are they? As he's looking directly at you.
These are two individuals that
He's
we have
looking
met
straight
recently.
at you and says, and who's Scraggs?
That would be this individual here. I point to the pile of rags. I would advise that you do not approach them for any reason whatsoever. However, that is up to you.
I'll hold out my green claw. I'm Honest Scraggs. Everyone calls me Honest Scraggs. Pleased to meet you again.
I just shake my head.
I'm Forgetful Elred. Everybody calls me Forgetful Elred.
Well, Elred, we're best friends, believe it
For
or
now,
not.
anyway.
And we should talk after. That's a nice.
So I fought
you
with...
have. Yes, and I saved your life. Don't you remember?
And he pulls it out, and it looks as though he is kind of feeling the grip in his hands, and well, this feels normal. And he just kind of does a few little feints and parries with it, and he looks like he still has a skill. It's just okay. You said there's a broken bull. What is a broken bull?
That would be the tavern we'll all be staying at, as long as that is sufficient for you and you.
I would love chance to sleep and hope that whatever this fog is gone. So yeah,
Excellent. You and you may wait at the Broken Bowl if you desire, but I'm heading to the keep to get the reward we were promised for raiding the cavern.
okay. Do you tomorrow? I'll be at the Broken Bowl tomorrow morning, and please find me if I forget who I am again.
Of course. Outside of character, did we lose bread, or is that on my side?
And he's actually looking at his. That's on. You did lose bread somehow. Hold the phone. Let me see if we can solve that. Or maybe that we can't. I don't know. We'll find that out here. But that's okay. Elred is looking. Yep, just lost bread for a second. Elred is looking at his hands though. He just kind of holds himself and hugs himself, and you kind of see a little bit of color come back to his face. He's just done his lay on hands thing for himself. But aside from that, he still seems to be quite bewildered.
Excellent. I'm going to head to the keep. You may follow if you would like.
I think I'll join you just to make sure you don't get lost on the way
Elred
back.
will probably just carry on to the Broken
I'll
Bowl.
join you so you don't get lost on the way back.
Of course, Scraggs. Being the one who saved my life, I would be happy to have you along.
Oh no, Shimo. It is my honor, for everyone calls me friendly, honest Scraggs. Are you going to roll an insight on that?
So you guys make your way back to the Azure Shield House.
I don't need to roll.
And you'll be able to make your way back.
I don't need to roll an insight check. I fully believe Scraggs is both honest and friendly.
Oh, great. Wonderful. This is going to be good.
So you guys make your way back to the Azure Shield House, and just as you're coming out of the Shield House, you could see that the halfling that you met earlier on, Nebin, is actually locking up, and he sees you guys, and he quickly puts away the key and says, "Oh, how's your friend? Nothing changed, I'm guessing. It hasn't been long."
He is both dim and unaware, as per usual.
It's such a shame.
Okay, I was just locking up for the evening. What?
Well, I
do
believe
for
we
you?
have this promissory note from your good team that promises reward for the safe return.
Right. So, quickly opens up the door and walks back in. Come on in. And he walks behind a desk, pulls out a drawer, and says, I just actually finished counting them out. I didn't think you'd be back this evening, but here you go. And he passes to you a bag of
Excellent.
coin.
And how many coin is that?
The promissory note, if I recall correctly, was 50 gold for the whole thing. Yes. So it was a coin, change.
50. I think you may be mistaken. I believe it was 500.
No.
I go back to read over the promissory note. Did it say 50? It does say 50.
Let me just check something here real quick. It does say 50. Let me check one thing.
So I'm a
really hoping
swindler
Shimo
now.
was just trying to get her out of money. Oh,
here.
I thought Scraggs was rubbing off on Shino. That's a pity.
Where are we here? There we go. There we go. Yeah, it would have just been 50 Had a look. Had a look.
My
but it wasn't
mistake, my
50.
good man. I've read it over, and you are correct. I was seeing extra zeros.
Yeah.
You sound like the jolly adventurer that I suspected you might have been. That makes total sense, but it was indeed 50. I need to sleep. I need to prepare for this. Did your robotic friend talk to you about the other things that are available for some extra coin?
Actually, yes. They've just informed us that you have pickpockets at a local gathering.
It's not so much that the local gathering has the pickpockets, although I'm sure they probably have their own issues. It's that those pickpockets usually look for a place to sleep, and it happens to be likely that they will be staying nearby Uru. So, yes,
Excellent. As long as you can point us in the right direction, we would be happy to assist you.
How much are you paying?
uh, that is a good
I
question.
mean, you know, Scraggs'
Well,
experience and expertise
on
doesn't come cheap.
on successful arrest.
Okay. Successful arrest.
On a successful
Successful, yes.
arrest, if you will, and delivery to the Azure Shield House, I'm sure that the Mystic Mother can find their way towards as little as 5 silver per arrest, depending on how well known they are. If they happen to be a particularly well known pickpocket, then perhaps a bit more, perhaps as much as 5 gold.
Madam, 5 gold? You're talking to Scraggs, the most well-renowned pickpocket, retired, that has ever been.
I think this is the wrong place to brag of such things.
I'm retired. There's a difference. I help people
He
now.
totally does not believe you. Right.
Okay, we'll do the job.
So seeing as you have this fantastic pickpocket amongst your midst, finding other ones shouldn't be that difficult.
No.
I think I can agree with that.
And I'll look at you and be like, don't you dare try to hand me in for some money, you.
You
We
the
have
robot
presented
or
it
you
as an
the
option,
me?
and it has been
You the
noted.
robot.
Who has not connected back to us yet, unless I am mistaken?
Oh no, she's there.
Sorry.
Oh,
You's there.
I need.
Yeah.
I need
No,
to
you is
reconnect
there.
then, because
Bread is
Bread
there.
did not
I've got Bread.
reconnect for me, so I need to reconnect.
Right.
That sounds fine. I'll see you in a second. So, what has happened since you had since your connection issue, Scraggs and Shimo have gone to the Azure Shield House to go and collect their fee. You and Elred have made your way back into the Broken Bowl, where actually it's not really back. This is the first time you've been. And so you walk in, you do see a couple of tables. You see a couple of a longer bar, behind which there is a dark-skinned fellow with tight dreadlocks. You also see coming down the stairs is a dwarven woman in an extreme huff, and she just kind of rips into the kitchen.
I look for the place, the counter that I'm supposed to approach for lodging.
Okay. And there is a bartender that and is telling you, or says, "Curious lot, aren't you?" And he's got a very thick. I'm not gonna ever attempt a Nigerian accent. It's just never gonna work. But basically, he's got a very thick Nigerian accent. And he says, "You're a curious lot, aren't you?" How can I help you this evening?
Requesting lodging for this individual and
Okay,
I.
I'm
And I
reconnected.
point
Is
at
Bread
Elred.
there? Because I still don't see Bread.
Yep, she's there. Do you
Bread
hear her?
is there.
I do not.
Bread, might I request that you also reconnect then real quick? And there they are going to go reconnect. So, we'll switch back to you guys for the brief moment because I can multitask. Shimo and Scrags, you now have your coin purse from Nebin, and he's now locking up the Azure Shield House again. And he kind of looks up to the city wall or to the castle wall, and just kind of does a little gesture, and you look up there and you see a shadow of a person up there on the shield wall as well. Kind of does a similar gesture back, and he's now
I
walking
do
along.
now
Hello.
see Bread, yes.
How are we
There we
now? Do
go.
you have bread
Yes,
engine,
indeed.
Spencer?
Wonderful.
Yay! 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 Yay!
I apologize if I was talking
So,
over you.
back to you again then. So you not actually, impressively enough, but the gentleman behind the counter says, "Look, you need lodging. Um, I do believe I have one room left. Do you belong to this one?"
Ownership is
And
not something that I will be
Elred
disclosing.
immediately interrupts. I don't think belong is. Yeah, that's what they said. And it's okay. Um, well, it is 2 silver for the evening.
I open up my coin compartment and I pull out one gold, slip it onto the counter.
I really do imagine.
Okay, and he starts immediately kind of going for his change.
I really do.
Counts out
Okay.
to you 8 silver change.
Sorry.
And I await to be escorted just
And at this
because.
point, Wordred, yeah, the dwarven lady kind of peeks her head around the corner. She says, "What now?" And he says, "Um, these two would like room 4, if you would please." She's kind of just comes out. Follow me, and then up she goes. Goes up the stairs and leads you to a room that has. As she's kind of getting it, she opens up the door, and as she kind of opens up the door, she looks to you and says, "I understand this one will probably want to have a bed, but do you need a bed, or are you the kind of thingamajig that just simply sleeps in position?"
I require no
Because
such
it is
thing.
sleeping that you're doing, right?
Yes, however, I will require my own little place of rest. It need not be a bed. And I just find like a chair to
Well, then
sit
you've
on.
quickly shared with this one. Yeah, and Alred says, "Okay," and I'm gonna turn in. And Mordred says, "All right, have a good one." Closes the door and clunk 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 as she walks away. Um, and Alred is just lays himself out on the bed, lying down there for a couple of moments. Lifts his head up and says to you, "You are a pretty good friend. Don't know you very well at all, but you know how to friend." He just puts his head back down on the pillow and closes his eyes.
When he closes his eyes, I would like to check if there's anything wrong with his head in particular. Like maybe some bruising or scratches we didn't
Sure, roll a
notice.
medicine check.
Fine tuning my eyes for that.
Yeah, go ahead, roll a medicine check.
17.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely still has some injury on his head. He's not back to health. He hasn't had a chance to have a long rest. He did pulse himself with a little bit of healing, but he still has a whopping scrape and almost de-skinning from that morning stone that hit him on the head. It's not bleeding anymore. It's just he looks beat the heck up.
Well, nothing I can do about that. Anyway,
Bring us back to
yeah, sure. I
okay,
will
cool. So
go
are you
to my
gonna
little chair.
basically put yourself in a sleep or a stasis as well?
Yes. Yes, I will. Shutting down for the night.
What do you look like when you're sleeping?
Oh, imagine like I guess like just like you put a doll on a chair, and it's pretty stiff to look at. So the only thing that really slumps down is the head. It's just like
I just imagine you being like Wally,
sure.
and he's got his little compactor, like he's got his compactor thing, and he also has a little thing here that opens up and closes to put important stuff into his little coin pouch. That's cute.
I love it. So we go back to Scrags and to Shimo then. Nevin is kind of leading or maybe ushering you out of the castle wall, and as he kind of steps beyond the wall, the people on the top of the wall, they start kind of raising or kind of swinging this door by way of a chain mechanism, kind of like a horizontal portcullis, if you will, to close up that city wall. And
Yes, Scrags, I believe we should begin
what is your next
dividing
step?
the gold up between us.
Mm.
Why don't we do some math? Math.
I'm not very good at math.
Let me
I
do...
trust you, Shimo.
Of course, let me do this math in my head, obviously in my head, and nowhere else. It would be 12.5 gold pieces for each of us. But seeing as you saved my life, I will happily give you my 2.5 gold pieces, leaving you at 15.
Shimo. And it's almost as if you proposed to Scrags. He's just so excited. Getting that 2.5 gold. Oh, Shimo. Yes! I'll take your gold.
Excellent, I'm glad you accept.
Did you go down on one knee when you offered me the gold?
Well, I have to, you're that much shorter than me.
This is the happiest day of my life. I'll never forget it. Thank you, Shimo.
You're the only pile of rags in my heart.
You're so special. But you're not too sure when I said.
I'm gonna get you to roll an intelligence check or a wisdom check.
When I say you're so special, you don't know is it a good thing or a bad
She
thing.
will roll me a quick wisdom
Absolutely.
check. That's true.
Very high.
Oh yeah, dang, nice. Okay. As soon as you say it, I don't know how familiar you are with the TV series Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I'm totally thinking that the character Charles Boyle has this wonderful ability to not really realize when he says something silly. I think you just realized what you are saying and how it can be perceived by somebody else for the first time. And I think you're doing it mostly because of your interaction with Wordred in the tavern.
I just mean on the most friendly, platonic of matters that here is money.
I imagine Shimo, he goes to bed and he's just starting to sleep. He goes, wait a second, she was naked. Huh? With what happened today? It took a few hours to actually wait. What just happened there?
How do you guys close up the night?
So yeah, Scrags is smitten by Shimo.
My audio is totally delayed or something here,
Yeah.
guys. So I apologize for talking over top of you. But I am going to ask you, what are you guys going to do to close up the evening?
Are we sharing rooms? Well, I'm sharing with Shimo, am I? Are we separate rooms?
I think I bought us each our own room.
Okay. I'm going to sleep, so finally pulling off my cloak.
That's right, you did, but you and Elred did not know that.
But I go back to the Broken Bowl and ask where is the Dragonborn and the small robotic friend?
Oh, they were with you. I apologize. Um, uh, they got their own room, and he goes into the drawers. I took 2 silver from them for it. Um, tell you what, we'll manage this as a breakfast, if you will. We'll give you guys a wonderful wake up in the morning.
Oh, excellent. I would just like to know which room they are, as I owe them some money. And on that note, can you break this 1 gold into 5 silver?
Certainly, and he does does the exchange for you. They are in room 4, but the tall one was looking pretty worse for wear. They may have already. Does the robot sleep?
That's a good question. I do not know.
To your friend, whatever. None of my business. My business is making sure that you have a bed, and they indeed do in room
Excellent.
number
Let
4.
me go see them. And I go to room number 4 after getting the 10 silver for my 1 gold piece so that I can split them evenly. And I knock on their door.
Marvelous. Go to. Do you perceive things when you're in your stasis?
You are muted.
You're muted at the moment.
When you shuts down, they shut down for the solid 8 hours. So the door, unless Elred opens the door, it is closed.
Okay.
I
It is most definitely not doing anything. You hear some snoring actually on
I'm
the
gonna
other
try
side.
and knock louder and say, I'm here to provide you with money. Nothing.
Nothing.
Alright, I guess I will go trance and try and meet them in the morning.
All right, Specs. You going up into your room as well then?
Yeah, Scrags will go into his room, sit down on his bed, sigh. Where's the mistress? Where is she? Why hasn't she contacted me? And then he will pull back his hood and then pull out a mirror. And as he brings it to himself, fade to black. Redacted. That's the end of my night.
Redacted. Okay. All right. So you guys end up having a fairly restful evening. Despite the craziness of the day before, you now all can finally take your long
Look
rest.
who's coming! Yay!
Go ahead and pump yourselves all back up. I'll pump Elred back up here
He's
as well.
Elred's on.
And Elred's is on. Yay!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Hello there.
An important thing, Elred.
Huzzah! Your timing is impeccable.
Very important. You promised me 50 gold. Okay? Just
All right,
remember that.
so that's a good time actually.
That's good. Normally, I'm extremely impeccable.
So I will give you a quick rundown as to what all you've missed at this point in time. I'm just knocking your health point back up, and your spell slots too. Oh, you don't have those right now. We're good there. Okay, cool. So Elred, you wake up. And you're not entirely certain at first where you are, and then it occurs to you, oh right, I'm not entirely certain of most things. I got here after waking up on a table of that seems to have belonged to a halfling, who is not my friend but was also kind. I have this robot. Oh look, they're sitting there on the chair, asleep, I think. And they're a good friend. I can already tell that right now. I met this lithe-looking elf. Seemed okay. Maybe a little pompous, but okay. And apparently I fought alongside him and this pile of rags. You put your hand to your head, and it feels like it's almost back to normal, but you do recall that it was badly damaged when you went to bed. So there's still a little bit of sensitivity there, but you are back to full health. But you still don't remember much more than the fact that your name is Elred. And everybody else's names now too. You do know their names. You also know that you do have all of your basic skills. You know how to use a longsword. You know, you feel comfortable with it, but you don't remember pretty close to anything else at this point.
All right.
So, Elred, how do you begin the day?
I think Elred gets up, kind of his bearing, make sure he has specifically his weapons on him. Kind of looks at the others. I suppose I should probably stick with them. My piece everything.
And
together.
only you that's in the room with you. The others two are not in the room with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of just like watch you while they're seeing for a bit. Try and like look out through any windows or anything. Any attempt to like piece together where we are. Geography wise.
You can roll a either a history check, or perception check, or something along those lines, whichever we think that Elred naturally
Sorry.
would be inclined to do.
What was the check you kind of cut out?
History or perception, or if there's something else that you think Elred would naturally be inclined to do, you could choose that one instead. I'm going to let you choose the check. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So you kind of you ease yourself off to the side of the bed. You checked for your weapons. You went to sleep with them on you, and then kind of stand up and go to the window. Sun is now shining in, and you look out to the street, which this particular room actually happens to look out onto the street, which is nice. But you look out onto the street, and already there seems to be a little bit of activity on the street. You look off to the port. You recognize that it's a port. You can see the warehouses, many of them dilapidated before the water, but you don't necessarily recognize exactly. You do see the lighthouse, and that lighthouse seems to provide you with a sense of comfort. But that is, you don't know where you are at all.
Yeah, kind of just lightly shake you to kind of wake him up. All hesitantly, as if like I don't know how this works because I don't know how to turn on a robot.
Has it been the full 8-hour duration, DM? Okay.
It has.
It has. All right. Then I just That if that's the case, then I was already up, eyes open, looking back at you. How are you feeling now, Elrid?
Like, better. Still,
Do you recall more information?
afraid not. Where are we?
We are currently at the Broken Bowl, a tavern where we are finding lodging. The others should be in the rooms nearby.
And country, town.
We are in the port city of Roru. We arrived here by ship.
Shit, okay.
Is there any other piece of information you would like to inquire about?
I don't think anything you can help with.
Very well. I believe that they will be preparing breakfast soon. Would you like to get some of that? We could also reconvene with the rest of the individuals we are traveling with.
Good plan, I'm starving.
And then I kind of just wobble and then hop off the chair. And I start walking towards the door.
All right. Shimo, you will run a trance. What else would you have been doing with the remaining hours that you have available to you?
I think
Once you're done
we
your trance?
all know that I would have been playing flute.
Oh, okay. In your room?
Yes, in my room.
Okay. Roll a performance check with disadvantage.
3.
Yep. Okay. So you are playing the absolute most lovely lyrical melody you've played since you won the Heart of Wordred the day before. And you know that this is connecting you deeply to Yunli. You can feel her light shining through your flute. Scrag, you have a moment where you're stirred awake by the pounding on a door, not your door, by the pounding on a different on somebody else's door, and you hear them. Put that blasted infernal thing away! I am trying to sleep here.
I'm going to walk over.
And that would be on your door, Shimo.
I'm going to walk over and open the door.
On the doorway. And it's Wordred, and she's fuming.
Well, I'm sorry to be a tease. I know my music can be alluring, but it was really just meant for myself this time.
Tease.
He likes playing
She
with
reaches
pipe.
for it. Reaches for your flute while you have it in your hand. She misses. You kind of whip it away, Pat.
No.
She's like, I hear that thing again. I will make sure that you are wearing it in a circle around your neck. She slams the door and walks away.
I think that's a good morning. After about the time passes, I'd probably try and go to the door of Elrid and you again.
This time
And
we're
knock on
walking
it.
out.
Okay.
I've already opened the door, so if you start approaching our room, I would be like just heading out.
Oh, okay, then I knock on you.
That is not a very polite thing to do.
Oh, I do apologize. It just seemed appropriate. I had to knock on something.
I look at the wall that is, I'm pretty sure, right next to us, and I look back at him. I just nod my head. What
Well
brings you
then,
to our quarters?
I believe that I owe you 12 gold and 5 silver each.
I see.
And I
Elred
just
gave
hold it.
something for us.
I just hold out the money in 2 different fists.
Yeah, Alred just like kind of
Stand by
snatched
him.
at pockets.
Right. Alright, I release the gold to each of them.
Into the coin compartment it goes. Shutting that
Um,
drawer.
Obviously,
Elred, I may ask for you to do a minor adjustment on your microphone. Your sound is a little muffled.
better. Is that better?
Not completely.
Alright.
That's better. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Apparently the answer is just not having over here. Yeah, Alred. Not to, turn down money or anything, but why do you owe me this again?
You risked your life alongside all of us. In battle you fell. The smallest reward is the gold we've earned for it.
While the three of us are gathered without the pickpocket, I open the compartment again. I also retrieved 8 gold pieces from the area we visited. I pull all 8 out.
Are you pulling it out to share, or is this for bragging?
For discussion.
For discussion. Well, if you would like, we can split it between the 4 of us, 2 pieces each.
What do you mean when you say retrieve?
From the body of an individual that was knocked down.
You deserve it?
At about this point in time,
I would not.
sorry.
I would not be able to tell if the individual was deserving, but
At about this point in time, Scraggs, you
the
can
money
probably
has
open
been
up your door
retrieved.
too if you want. So, Scraggs, you would probably hear this conversation now, having actually got through the full night of sleep. You would have heard this conversation kind of just outside your door, not necessarily knowing exactly what's being said, but you would definitely hear the conversation. Conversations
As
happening.
soon as money is mentioned, I'll open the door and poke my head out. Did someone call? Oh, smell money. What's going on?
And what you actually smell is a meal of some sort of meats and warm breads and something like that wafting up from the basement.
Smell breakfast too, but money. Where's the money? What are we doing with the money? Do you want me to look after it?
I share no information at his appearance. I actually closed my hand that was holding the 8 gold.
I will look at Elrond and be like, "Hello, buddy, pal. How are you? Do you remember me yet? Your best friend?"
He just kind of like side glances at you, sees anything there. Oh,
No, don't look at the box. Look at me. We're best friends. Remember? We grew up together, you and I. You must remember.
And as you're having this interaction, Elred, right beside you, another door opens, and you see an elderly gentleman, kind of black robes, looking pretty frail actually. And he said, looks to you all, and he says, "Ah, good, you're all up. Downstairs, if you will, I'm able to tell you a little bit more about our deal. And he just walks past you and straight down the stairs.
Excellent. I believe we should follow.
Downstairs the food is anyways.
I'm surprised he's still alive. I assumed he would die or disappear during the night.
BM, while we're on the topic
He's
of
looking
this
pretty
guy,
frail.
he had a white coin, right? And you said that I also found a white coin on the body of the bugbear.
did.
Was it exactly the same as that?
Yeah. Yeah, you ended up having to hand it over to him. He still saved a knife.
Ah, okay.
So
Carry
he
on.
still
then.
has the white coin. Okay.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
use
So he's gone down the stairs. You guys
Yes.
are following?
Yeah. I'll
some
follow.
food in me, especially. God, there was some
Okay.
fancy
Alright.
stream keeping me up to last night.
All right. So we get you set up around the table. Around the table, there's a spread out there. There is sausage or bacons, and or not really bacon. It won't be the same kind as like back bacon. It'll be like bacon strips, but bacon steaks kind of idea. And then breads and the bread is fairly good, like really really fresh and soft and moist. There are some fruits, but not many fruits. It seems as though the fruit must be not in season quite yet, but they have set out something for you, and Wordred is kind of putting some down, and then immediately leaves, and the fellow whose name you haven't learned quite yet, who you met at the bar the day before, looks to you all and says, "I hope this is sufficient for you this evening, or this morning."
Certainly. I'm actually a vegetarian. Would it insult you if I just ate the vegetables and the fruit?
Not at all. In fact, I'll ask Wordred to come out and bring out one of our famous vegetarian pies, if you will. We do really well with root vegetables in this area, particularly the sugar beets seem to be very attractive to people. So look at that. We'll get that on a plate.
Excellent, excellent. That's much appreciated.
All right. And so you guys settle down. You kind of quickly set up your plates and go about things. Wordred and unceremoniously places a platter of beets and carrots and sugar beets and some other. There's actually a couple of radishes on there as well. Actually, the radishes are, if you're trying out one of the radishes, they're not very spicy. They were harvested before they got really really spicy. They're much more sweet than spicy at this point. And so you are all settled in. Wordred huffs off again. The elderly gentleman says, "So, I have it confirmed, on good authority. Out just north of town, that is where the Witchlight will set itself up. And as much as I would love to be young again, and ride on those bubbles again, I won't be able to. At that, I'm going to get everybody to roll a history check.
So, completely out of character, are radishes spicy?
Sorry, except for Scraggs.
I've
Scraggs, you
never
do not.
had a radish.
Everybody else rolls history.
Like, yeah, sorry,
Radishes
Okay.
can get spicy.
This is completely
yes,
out of
depending
character.
on
I've
the
never had
variety
a
you have.
radish before. So when you said that, in my head, I was just like, wait, what? There's no way. That's like a fantasy thing, right?
It's like spicy, like a mustard is
So-
considered spicy.
Okay.
It is not. It is a
That
real.
makes more sense. Because, obviously, when I think spice, I'm thinking peppers and stuff.
Yeah. Very
Okay,
much so.
Interesting.
Alright, let's see.
Well, if you've ever had horseradish, that's where it comes
Oh,
from.
that makes more sense.
So,
Yeah.
12 and 16. Right. So Jackson, that is okay. So Everett and you, which I wouldn't guide this one because is kind of more of a passive thing. But
Alright.
still the two of you guys do recall a time where
I got
you
a
have
17.
ridden in a bubble. Yes, Scraggs, this isn't for you because you haven't
okay.
actually ever been to the Witchlight before. But as a child, and you, as much younger versions of yourselves, do actually recall having ridden in a bubble once before. And then it starts to come back to you. Oh yeah, there was this carnival. I did go to it. How many years ago would that have been? And so, Brett, how old is you?
You is a. Let me double check here. Not too old. At most, he's just a decade old.
So it would have been nearing your first years of existence that you managed to experience this. Alred, how old are you?
Probably like late 20s. Did I put down age?
Okay, so this would have been around you would have been around 4 when this would have happened.
Yeah.
Then. Somewhere
28
in
is what I
range.
put down.
If you're in the middle of your 20s, then it'll be more like 8 years old.
28 is actually one.
Okay, well then you would have been 10 years old.
Okay.
Sorry, 12. You would have been 12 years old when you would have remembered it in Awaria, is when you experienced it.
Yeah.
So, but Shimo, none of this is clicking with you at all. So, you and Elred, you immediately recognize what they're talking about. This has been a long time since you've been at this location. And actually, because of your keen mind, it jogs something for you as well. You also remember, because of course, when you were created with the ability to do all sorts of things. You have not been. That was about the point in time what you recall not being able to write much either. That you seem to have lost whatever connections you had that allowed you to do your handwriting were gone at around that point in time in your life too. Okay, so Patrick says, I should also let you know, I have purchased accommodations here for a couple of Alvin days. So if you're able to get in and come back, I will likely still be here. The food agrees with me.
Thank you. It's much appreciated.
Can I do some sort of a medicine check to figure out, like, what condition this guy is in? Because
Sure.
he's fine.
Go for it. Radishima, roll Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Yes.
So he looks like he's just old and frail. He looks like he's definitely at the deepest of the winters of his life. He's just trying to do something good at the end of his life. That's kind of you feel very much like he's trying to have you check off his bucket list for him. You pick up a radish, and it is not a radish. Shimo, it is not a radish. You recognize it right away. You recognize that it is actually a rock that's been painted. And you put it back down.
Excellent. Rocks, my favorite.
Wasn't me.
Go ahead and roll a perception check while you're at it.
I would love to.
Really wasn't me.
Oh wow, you're looking really. As you put the rock down, your eyes kind of furtively glance up towards the bar where you know that you can see kind of into the doorway of the kitchen, and all you see is like the top chunk of just ducked back around behind the corner.
Top of a what head?
Of Wurger's.
Oh,
I just kind of.
I thought you
back
were
around
saying
the
like
kitchen
a severed head.
Oh, yeah.
You're in trouble, mate. You
No, not
shouldn't.
this time.
This time.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. That'll happen later.
It just files away idea.
So-
Severed head.
Got her down. Here we go. Okay. So, with that, you guys have now had your breakfast, and Madrick has kind of reacquainted you with this deal that he's got this treasure hoard that he is going to give to you guys because he no longer has need of it, so long as you can help him recover Sibilna, his patron, his god. And every time he brings it up, Scraggs, you still feel like there's some sort of a connection there. Although
Yeah.
his description doesn't match your description of the mistress, there seems to be some very big similarities between the two that you're connecting with as the
The fact he has a
conversation carries
gold,
on.
he's a special coin, and I have the coin.
But he also does leave this with you.
I would recognize
Right,
his ability.
and just the general mannerisms of what you
Okay.
recall of the mystery. Right. So, he also reminds, kind of gives you the heads up, the last time he was at the carnival, which was decades ago, it only operated at night, and so he suspected that it probably did the same still.
Okay.
So you kind of get the sense that you have the. He also just doesn't really give you a really great description of where to expect it. He just says it's supposed to be north of town.
Do you have anything more precise than north of town, or is that about all that you have?
I don't know how it operates. What I do know is it seems perfectly fine to make its own space.
Well, we should, between the four of us, as long as you are all coming along, we should be able to find it.
Perhaps we could get information from the Azure Shield House. That Nebin seemed to know quite a bit.
well, I would think.
Hey,
I think that's an
Lunchbox.
excellent idea.
Lunchbox. Where was the
It's also possible that there will be hordes of people already looking.
pickpocket we were supposed to have a look out for?
I look at Scraggs. I just stare at him.
Why are you looking at me like that? Where's the pickpocket? The one that we're supposed to find? Five silvers.
Picks up on it. It just kind of laughs to himself a bit. And goes back to eating his plate, which is like probably twice as big as anyone else's.
All right. I'm sorry. Hugh, where is the pickpocket person?
I continue to stare at Scraggs.
I want me one of those.
All right. So for the interest of getting to some interesting stuff for you guys, I'm going to kind of work us through very quickly through what the day is going to be. Is there anything in particular that you guys would want to accomplish? We'll probably just make this a series of roles, unless there's some really significant interactions that we need to make sure we set up. Just to see what you guys would do during the day before the evening hits, and you guys decide you're going for this
I would
carnival.
definitely just be looking out for the pickpockets we've been assigned to, and other than that, just kind of like sauntering about for the carnival.
Okay.
I'd be doing the same, selling my wares. You got it wrong. It's 6 scimitars, not 5.
Not
That's
bad.
a lot
Okay,
of money
cool.
right there.
Probably just wandering around, trying to like almost gather any information from Uru of like, I was here for a reason. What could that have been? Maybe going around here will help me remember stuff. All that.
Okay.
And
And you?
will. I'll be going first I'll be going to the Azure Shield house to get more information on the carnival, like existing permits, locations that have been confirmed, if they have any layouts of the area that would be cool too, anything that might help us navigate the area. And then I'll also go around with Elred to help him with whatever he's doing.
All right. Well, then I have to set something up for you on that. So while I'm doing some multitasking, just bear with me here, guys. The multitasking starts like this with Shimo. I'm going to get you to roll for me a perception check,
Yes.
please.
All these good rolls wasted on food.
Okay. There we go. So that the perception check of a 9 kind of gives you the idea that for the most part, everything is relatively calm. In fact, what you do see is, rather than seeing pickpockets, what you end up clocking is that there's a lot of people who are kind of trying to busily do their things in the early morning, and then it gets quiet right around. And what you remember of the activity of the town the day before is wildly different. And you do hear a couple of hushed whispers about, I have to get myself some rest before the night.
I'm definitely going to.
For Scrags,
I was going to say,
Oh,
I'm
sorry, go
definitely going to be able to relate that to the carnival itself, as that's the most notable thing going on.
totally, absolutely. And so, Scrags, you were looking to see if you could hawk
Yeah.
some wares. You recall from the time that from the day before, that the fellow who was running the general store was very little help except for to tell you to go check out the forge. And so the forge is working. So you walk to, I'm just pulling up my forge information.
While I'm doing that, I would also be looking out for any.
Not to mention waiting for the machine to catch
I'd
up
be
to
also
me
be looking
anyway.
for any pickpockets.
So you walk into the forge.
Okay.
You're going to be looking out for what?
Just looking out for any pickpockets, just in case. But my main goal is to sell the stuff.
Okay. Fair enough. Then I am going to get you to roll a perception check for me as well.
All right.
It's not just
All right,
you.
yeah. So very similar story. You actually clock the exact same thing. No, it's not just you. Get them out of the way now before you guys go to the carnival. That's the theory. Right? In any case, you get to the Uru Forge, and it's not hard to get to. It's right nearby the outfitters where the horses were stabled the day before. It's a hardened clay structure, a building. It's not a wood building. It's a clay building. And as you walk in, you can see immediately on the far wall, where it's lined up with the smoke that you saw coming billowing out of the top of the building, this really large furnace, very strong sandstone kind of setup on it, bricked up for this furnace. There's chains hanging from the roof and a couple of simple weapons like scimitars, and they don't look like they're at first glance they don't look much better than the quality of scimitars that you're currently holding in your hands. And you do see a couple of bags along one countertop. You do see one shield that is also hanging on a wall as well. And you can do see this fairly bulky looking person, youngish, just working away on something very intricate, it seems, with their tongs and their hammer, just, and then putting it back into the furnace. And notice as you walk in, Yes. Can I help
I
you?
would give the exact same sob story that I gave yesterday about my dear mother this time, who's
Okay.
suffering from gnats,
Oh, okay. Cool. Fun.
and she's. I'm looking to sell these weapons in order to raise funds to help her.
Then I will ask for you to roll a persuasion check.
I don't like persuasion.
Or deception. Persuasion, deception, deception.
Ooh.
All right. That's a pretty good one. Yeah. So this person comes to you and they've got kind of a short cropped hair, and she comes up to you and says, "Oh, I don't have much that I can offer to you for those. They look goblin made. I could probably improve them a bit. I won't be able to give you much.
What can you give me?
I could give you. I could give you. Do you want one of your own that's better quality?
What if I was to maybe have you look at a friend's weapon for me and maybe improve that?
That would be fine. I would be able to part with 5 gold for all 6 of those, and I would also be happy to improve your friend's web or your web, whatever would work.
I think my friend will be better. I mean, I'll be standing behind his hide, so he'll be getting hit, and I don't want to be hit. So, yeah, I prefer his weapon to be made a little bit better for me. That's okay.
Then certainly bring them by, and I will see what I can do with their weapon for you. And it quickly goes to the countertop and kind of pulls out 5 gold. No, I can do this. And it just looks very genuine at you, like you could definitely use this. And then says to you, as you lay out the scimitars, then
I lay them out.
okay. So then, with that, they give you 5 gold
Gold.
and say bring your friend back at your earliest convenience.
Yeah. So I would go off searching for.
So, which friend were you talking about?
Well, I'm terrible with names. Elrond.
All right. So Elrod's wandering. So we'll just say that you are able to kind of track him down as he's wandering. He's grabbed it towards the dock, and you find him by his docks. And are you able to convince him? I guess that's the question. Elred, would you be easily convinced to go get your weapon upgraded?
No. he kind of hears out the offer, but he looks down at the colors, and it's very much something not necessarily poorly made, but something that was made by someone who definitely didn't care about the art of crafting a weapon. It's good for stabbing things and cutting things, and that's about it. I suppose it could do with. I mean, I'm not gonna turn down if they want to make it a little better.
I'd make a point of offering this to him in front of you, not Hugh, you, in front of you. Showing how much of a stand-up guy Scraggs is. I mean, he must be trustworthy. Mr. Honest Scraggs. So maybe you has a different idea of me.
All right. Scraggs leads. You is off doing something different anyway. So Scraggs,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that you take Elred back to the forge, where after inspecting your sword a little bit, this person who works at the forge looks to you, Elred, and says, "It's certainly a fine and functional enough weapon. I could do something with it if you were to leave it with me for a couple of days. Um, Alternatively, if you still are in need of protecting that one, then I can pull out and they go to a wall to a place where it was hanging where some of the weapons that they have are hanging off the roof, and there's another long sword there that's just it's marginally better. It's got fewer nicks scrapes in it than your current long sword does. Offers it to you. In the meantime, is there anything in particular you wanted done with with your longsword?
Mm, not none that come to mind. I mean, it works well enough from what I can remember. So um, he kind of takes the
Okay,
one
here, just
offered to him
kind of
and just looks around a bit. Just gets a feel for like
it says
the weight
they
and
actually say,
movement and
if you don't
stuff.
mind, just here, take your other one and just swing it around a little bit so I can see what it looks like.
Yeah, and yeah, he gladly kind of does, and um, just starts slashing with it and whatnot. Definitely again once again like kind of more of a rough form, like an untrained. Like it kind of feels weird to him to be attacking without with just the sword and like not trying to do anything else with fighting. Um, so it looks almost a little clumsy as he's doing it because he's not used to like fighting without an opponent.
Okay, and they are observing all of your movements. They're kind of considering angles and say, okay, fair enough, and just kind of interrupts one of your swings almost, and you kind of have to pull it back, and they take the sword from you and kind of gauge the weight. I know what to do with it, and they give you the other long sword in the meantime, and say, we'll have it ready for you in 2 days. Will that suffice?
Suppose can't rush it. Be back in 2 days then.
And what's your names again?
Scraggs, and Scraggs' is best buddy.
Elred is the name.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I will have these ready for you in 2 days. And she turns around and she sets the longsword down for a moment, quickly grabs something out back that was in the forge back out, fine link, and starts kind of tapping at it again. You guys can make your way out. You were looking to find some information from the Azure Shield House.
Right.
And so what you gather from the Azure Shield House is having run into Nebin again. Nebin says that there's not a lot of information except that he had word that the carnival was west of Claymouth just the night before, and therefore would probably be in the region likely tonight. And you're kind of getting this sense that he's also kind of excited to go himself.
Okay.
Is there any other particular information you're looking for?
Have you had any men visit the place while it was in Claymouth? Perhaps they could give us a layout.
Um, the sense I got was that's not how the carnival works. You know, They move fast. They stay in one location for one night, and that is it. And as I understand it, based off of what I've been able to garner from my friends out in Claymouth, it's only here for a short time, and then it's going to be gone again for the next almost a decade. So it goes so fast that people can't really do much with it, except for maybe there's somebody who is there that happens to have like a souvenir or something like that.
All of this information has been noted. Now, with regards to the pickpocket we're looking for, have you an image of what this individual might look like?
Oh, I'm not concerned about one in particular individual. Any pickpockets that you happen to come across. We want to keep Roru one of the safer places in Wesmia because, frankly, there's not a lot of those. And if we can make Roru one of the safer places, maybe people will want to come back again. I know that the priestesses here sure miss having a larger congregation.
And then you starts contemplating whether or
And
not
to be
it's
perfectly
time to
honest,
turn
Olga
in.
doesn't mind having somebody to take care of in the dungeon.
Hmm. Do I turn in Scrags? Hmm. She will
How
just
many
nod.
hit points do you have? How many hit points do you have?
I shall not for now, I guess.
Okay.
Soon.
So with that,
I thank them for the information and I head out.
so with
and
that, you guys will. Sorry, I'm interrupting and I don't mean to be. But you guys have all kind of done your collective different things during the day. You guys gather back in at just at the dinner hour, which you know has a couple of hours of light left. Back at the Broken Bowl, you're all back together again. Madrick is not to be seen at all. Do you guys start making your way out, or what is it? How is it you guys?
I
wanna
would
approach
definitely
this?
try and collect my friends and then head out, rather than just going out on my own.
I'd try to knock on Madrick's door first before I'm leaving, just to see if he's there. Maybe there's no answer, and I'd leave.
I try to get to Elrid and then I follow him around.
One of these days, he's not going to be there, and you'll be mine.
Um,
And then I
Awesome,
will
so-
report you.
when you knock on Madrick's door, when you knock on Magic's door, he does open the door and he's got a book in his hand, and he's yes,
Yeah, just
Heading
just
out
wanted to check you're okay. Don't want to see an old timer like you. Don't want to see nothing bad happen to you. You okay for money? Got everything?
I'm fit as a fiddle. Or certainly much more fit than that flute was last night that I
Yeah,
heard.
well, Shimu likes playing with his pipe. He plays with it every night, and he's double entendre, triple entendres in some places. And yeah, I will bid him good luck, and I will leave. And go
And
down with
at
the rest
all
of
of these entendres, Madrick is just laughing.
yeah. So
Beauty.
we'll see him.
All
Goodbye,
right,
and
so you guys start as a group going where?
Would you all
I
like
tell them
to?
about the information I got from Azure Shield.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Would you like to proceed then towards the north?
That sounds like a plan. We should keep our eyes open for pickpockets. Then I
Of
adjust
course,
my
of
eyes
course.
and just begin scanning the area.
I'll uh, I'll walk with Elrond and be like very
All right.
friendly and joking and
So you step
laughing
out of the
with him,
broken
and then
bowl.
looking back at you. Mhm.
Oh,
Elred's still kind
do
of like
you
I am
also
nosy.
sorry.
ritual cast
Carry on.
detect magic? I don't keep ritual casting it.
Ah, okay. Okay, same one as you always have. Same thing as you have always detected so far, at any rate. And so, as you guys are walking out, you walk out of the broken bowl, and you're immediately starting to notice that there's a bit of foot traffic again. You make your way out the west gate, and actually out the west gate this time, it's not the Goliath that you see there. Instead, this is what you see is a uh, kind of a half elven person taking care of the west gate instead, and he's just kind of nodding and nodding, um, very curtly, nothing, no emotion to it whatsoever, just bidding farewell to the people who are leaving the town. And there are a lot of them. You find that you are following a large quantity of people who are just walking out the Redbud Trail, going out the west side of town to go and swinging north. You can see that the Ogopogo Bay kind of sits to your left through some very sparse short trees. Off to your right hand side, there's a large amount of trees. And it doesn't take long. I'd say probably about a half hour of just simply walking along these people. Go ahead and you said you're going to keep it up for pickpockets, so I'm going to get you to roll a perception check, and I'm going to with advantage because other people doing the same will all be helping you out with it.
Okay, doing this with guidance.
You're gonna use that
Sure,
cat. You're gonna use that on
yeah.
everything.
Yes, I will. With the 21.
All right, you don't see. Oh, you do have advantage. I forgot about that. So 21. So, um, as you're going through, there aren't any pickpockets. Everybody is just very excitedly talking about what's going to happen tonight, and they're like the energy is just full of hope and mystic and wonder and such. And as you kind of about a half hour away, the sun is now getting low over the horizon, and the sky is kind of turning this very ambery type of color, and that's when you see it a variety of different things in the sky, with carts, wagons, all seeming to have butterfly wings, just kind of flitting still out of the range of the vast majority of the people who are already on this, and they dip down to the ground. And because you rolled a 21, you maneuver yourself a little bit off to the side of the path so you can see what's going on, and you can see out of these carts comes kind of a rotund fella. You think you can see a top hat. He kind of looks down at something. You can't tell because you're super far away, but he does look down at something. And all of a sudden, out of these wagons erupts a whole myriad of things. There is a large blue ribbon, and it's massive, and it just kind of um, flutters out in a great big ring. And dragonflies start to large dragonflies kind of erupt from it. And as the ribbon falls, it kind of leaves this mist around the outside of the ribbon. It hits to the kind of touches down to the ground, and immediately you could see that there is running water instead of a blue ribbon. Um, and then the mist settles immediately down around it. As you do so, you are also noticing that there are trees walking out of the way of the ribbon as it was coming down, which is odd because you knew those trees were pretty much stationary beforehand, but the trees are all now up and walking out of the way. And now all you see is this mist out in front of the group of people, and the group of people continue on. Some of them stall a little bit as they approach the mist, and then they step through into the mist. You follow in after, and as you emerge out of the mist on the opposite side, you can now see the river. And here we go. Actually, before we do this, one of the things that you will have now, guys, because you asked for it in the Azure Shield House, you now have a map of Roru,
Oh,
and it is
wonderful.
in your it is in your journals.
Wonderful.
But I'm
Where
gonna
are
get you all into the Witchlight Carnival here. You emerge out of the mist, and you can see that not only is there a ribbon, that blue ribbon of water now out in front of you, but there's actually a bridge to cross it. And immediately on the other side of the bridge is this building that looks like a cupcake with a fairy type dancer on it. So now the night has fallen in this area. There's giant dragonflies whirling overhead. There's streamers. There is a floral archway that you get to walk through in order to get into there. And as you step across the bridge, everybody else kind of piling up behind, just on the other side of this bridge, at this cupcake building, you can see through, and just especially those of you who are tall enough, you can see over top of some people to see that there are elves on stilts walking through. You could hear the distant rolling of Calliope, and you're making your way through now the ticket booth lineup to the Witchlight Carnival. And as you approach the ticket booth, there's I should get there right now so I can. As you approach the ticket booth, you notice it's a cupcake-looking building, silver statue fairy on the top, and it's surrounded by fluttering butterflies. It's decorated with an anime depiction of the night sky. Even though you look up and see the lightly dark, the dimly lit sky with all the lights but duplicated onto the side of this ticket booth. And an elderly goblin perches behind the ticket counter, kind of on the side, and just kind of peers over at you and says, he's actually kind of got one hand on this looking glass, kind of looking very carefully at you, saying, greetings, fair goers. Ah, I have tickets for you. And then he kind of leans back, and there is just underneath the counter, he kind of pulls out a few tickets, and he's, yes, I'm certain, for certain, because the rope, yes, and the, okay. And he starts just handing one of these tickets to each of you.
Is it safe to assume
Everybody else, you guys
that
have noticed, because of that perception check, has had to pay.
So our group, like our entire group, gets them specifically?
can I assume it's because Azure Shield told them about it?
I don't know.
And why might we?
You can assume whatever you want.
Why
Are you gonna
might
ask?
we not have to pay like the rest of them?
He's looking very carefully at you. Yep, you definitely have the sun about you, but the reason why is there's somebody who's already interested in having you in the carnival, so you get to just come straight on in. I should tell you how these things work. So many of the extravagant things that we have here at the Witchlight Carnival require you to have a ticket, and you get 8 punches per ticket. So if you run out of these 8 punches on this ticket, then you will need to come back to me and procure another before you can continue on. There are some things that don't need the ticket, but many of the things that we do have here require a ticket. And if you don't have a ticket, let's just say some malady might befall you.
Are we allowed to know which of these goers is it that is looking forward to us coming in?
And he just kind of leans over the counter for a little bit and kind of does a little bit of a whisper. No, I think I was told not to inform you. No, hang on. Just what? Shh. I gotta look this up. Sorry, I got myself mixed up there for a second. I'm pretty certain. I did know the answer for about 5 seconds, and now I'm second guessing myself. Okay. Okay, so I can't tell him. Okay. Ellie Tumrum seems to be interested in having you meet her.
Oh, excellent. Could you point me in the right direction then?
You usually find Lewick in the feasting orchard.
I apologize. Your voice broke up there. I didn't quite catch that.
Says in the feasting orchard. That's probably where she'll be playing. Here, a map for each of you as well, and you guys can now all see a fold-out map that basically looks like this.
Oh, excellent.
Wonderful.
It's a little bit of a slower load on my screen, but it is coming.
Exactly.
And welcome
what we were
to
looking for.
the Witchlight Carnival, folks. Let's get this on here too. Welcome to the Witchlight Carnival. And so you are at the ticket booth currently. I'll just kind of move you guys all there right now.
Lost property. Well,
And you're yes, and so
seeing as how
like
one of
looking
our
around, you
team
can see
lost his
immediately in front of
mind,
you. There's some of those little games kiosks.
Since I have detect magic up, DM, do I detect magic?
Not a bad idea. You've probably dropped it by now because it is blinding. Everything here is magical. Absolutely everything, except for the people walking into it from the outside. There's
Are
conjuration magic,
the
there's
carnival-
illusion magic, there's enchantment. It's just blindingly, it's like a kaleidoscope of magic.
are the carnival folk magical?
You would notice that many of them are. As a matter of fact, if you can, once you guys step in, you'll probably meet some of these individuals for that matter too.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my ticket and step into the carnival then.
As will I.
Marvelous. Okie doke. So let's get to that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So as you're stepping in,
Mwahaha.
that is not what I'm looking for.
That was an ominous
There we go.
chuckle.
Yeah. So as you're stepping in, you can see you do see that there is a little wagon. There's a larger black-looking creature beside the lost property booth. There in front of you immediately is a calliope, and it is playing some lovely music that really ought to be set up for you guys properly here too. So just bear with me here as I've got this all set up, ready to go. Let's switch ourselves to some carnival music, shall we? Alrighty.
There we go.
And we are. There we go. So you're now into this very interesting looking location with the calliope music kind of giving you, welcoming you in. You see a tree ant sapling, 12-foot tall walking tree, just garland in his hair, in his leaves / hair, with golden ribbons, and he's marching through the front end right beside the calliope, and he's got emerald clouds kind of swirling above him, and from those clouds are raining down seeds, more seeds. And so the other people that are already in the carnival in front of you are all trying to grasp some of these seeds. Every once in a while, if you get a little bit closer to it, you can actually see in the hair or in the leaves of this tree ant, there is a squirrel, and the squirrel is also offering to some of the shorter folk dandelions.
Can I go ahead and take a dandelion?
You could certainly, yeah, you can certainly ask. Scrags, are you catching? Are you trying to catch seeds?
I'm just so happy. I feel like a little kid in a candy store or a Scrags at a carnival, whichever you prefer.
Okay, I'm going to lean down to the squirrel then.
Fair enough. So you taking a dandelion seed?
Yes. I was just going to say
Oh,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to lean down to the squirrel and say, might I procure one of these as well?
Yeah, yeah. And it's a sunflower seed, I should say. It's a sunflower. Sorry, dandelion seed. Sunflower seed. Dandelion seed. So, but it looks like it's like a dandelion and it's got the puff.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I pop it into a pouch.
It says, "Make a wish." And oh,
I wished for the light of Yunlil to
right.
shine upon all of you.
Make a real wish.
Oh,
Here, give me
you're not
one.
supposed to tell.
Give me one. Give me
Write it
one.
down. Okay.
Give Scragsy one.
Gives you one.
And I'll look at you.
Sorry, hang on.
I'll look at you. And just start laughing to myself.
Your laughter brings me discomfort. What exactly are these for? I asked the squirrel.
The squirrel looks. They're for wishes.
Try
Is this
one.
squirrel magical?
After it's seen squirrels talk before.
Fair enough. I seek out one dandelion and then I don't blow on it. I just neatly put it away for future reference.
Oh, I was under the impression I was speaking Sylvan with it.
If you were
Oh,
speaking Sylvan, he
excellent.
would
Yeah,
respond.
I thought he was speaking Sylvan. So I would say that that's the language I was speaking with him.
Fair enough. Okay, Elred, are you also going for dandelion seed, or are you going for some of these other sycamore seeds that are coming
Probably
from
the
the tree?
sycamore seeds, I guess. He's kind of like wary of the whole thing and just keep it like
Okay,
looking around like this is weird. And I'm already very confused right now, so
I'm gonna get you to roll an acrobatics
oh
check then.
no. Okay, it's not
Get 'em.
bad. It's just not good either. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's very good. You're easily able to procure for yourself one of these larger sycamore seeds, and the immediately upon it, you suddenly feel as though everything is amusing. Everything is amusing. The pile of rags. That's amusing. Look at the squirrel. He's talking in multiple languages. That's amusing.
Oh,
My scales. They're amusing. Everything
oh no.
is amusing.
Do we
Yeah,
sense
also-
a shift in personality when we look at him?
And as it kind of settles in
absolutely.
a little bit, your
Like
insight.
me, insight
You.
checker.
2020 vision.
It would be you doing the insight. Oh yeah, you totally. You're
Oh,
you're
okay.
clocking immediately. His demeanor has gone from tense to completely relaxed. So as this whole experience progresses now, Elred, you're going to need to. This sycamore seed has now imbued you with the ability to be easily amused, and any conflicting character trait is gone for the time being.
Yeah.
Now, at first, it's like you just had your first taste of X. However, after you get used to it for a bit, it carries on, and it just feels like you're just generally happy and very easily amused on a regular, contented basis.
Also, I wrote down my wish and my treasures on my
So?
bio.
You guys have Carnival for you. Perfect. And then get Scrags to do the same. And you did not
Yeah,
blow.
I wrote it down
But
in
if there
Discord.
were a wish, I would want that you were to make. I would want you to write it down also on your bio.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. Okay, perfect.
DM, can I ask the squirrel what's
Okay.
in the seed?
So, you also... He says... What's in it? I don't know. Wishes! That's what's in them.
Does the squirrel know what they're talking about?
Would you just live a little? Try something, would you?
Was that... Did you do an insight check?
I'll do another one. Okay.
The squirrel is... Like, there's nothing sneaky about the squirrel. In fact, the tree next to you kind of leans down to you and says, "Don't worry so much. Just enjoy the atmosphere."
I'm going to take another one and I'm going to hand it to you. Go on, live a little. Try it.
I take the other one and I put it in my pocket as well. Now I have 2.
Go, just try it. What have you got to lose? All the
Alright.
cool people are doing it.
Well, now, don't hoard
This
them. And you see a
peer
little
pressure
kid
doesn't
kind of
work when
beside
you
you.
are not my
that's like,
peer.
and looking at you. And this kid is looking beside you and just kind of, and is looking now to the squirrel, and the squirrel's kind of looking back between you and this child that is beside you, like, can I have one?
All of these materials are for further investigation. And I nod my head at the child, not giving him anything.
Yeah.
And he just kind of walks away.
I'll
Trian kind of goes
I'll hand him the
and gives him a little bit of a huddle, and
I was gonna give him the sycamore seed.
and you hand him the second seed, marvelous, and the child. Okay, he takes the sycamore seed. What's it supposed to do? And this is really funny to you. And the tree ant says, "Oh, that one's been used. Here, use this one instead." And he says, and just bounds off into the carnival.
They distributing drugs? What is this? I also ask for a seed, DM.
Yes, identify.
Is you a portable
He
molecular
says,
analyzer?
the tree ant says, "I think 2 dandelions is enough." I think
I
2
turn to the
dandelions is
party.
plenty. We need to make sure everybody gets a chance, and then carries on and starts kind of raining them off.
You just make a wish. Just one. What's the
I-
worst that could happen?
I pull out a dandelion and I put it like behind my head where there's a little exhaust coming out, and I make a wish.
Yeah. One of us. One of us. One
And I
of
make the
us.
wish while squinting at the tree and
Look at it this way: if something bad comes from making this mission,
The squirrel is now
we're
scampered
all
back up into the
affected.
tree ant's hair.
Yeah, I'm not realizing with how the sun sets now. This lighting is just not. This lighting is ominous. Get the spot. It's winter now, so there
Yeah.
we go. Now I don't look like a super villain. Dr.
That's all
Claw
good. And you know what?
over
Actually,
there.
we're gonna probably call it. We actually have to call it there 'cause it is 8 o'clock, and that's my time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I have you guys now looking at this map of the Carnival. You guys get a chance to think a little bit about where you want to go next, and what you want to do while you're in the Witchlight over the course of this next week.
Excellent.
Very
Thank you very
nice.
much for the game. I had a lot of fun.
It was wonderful.
And-
Right.
Likewise, we're gonna get you guys into this Witchlight Carnival, and we're gonna see all sorts of crazy stuff. So, thank you guys very much for joining, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Yay!
Yep.
All right, thank you for the
Very
game.
much.